Unbelievable. Unfucking believable what that is. Here right now. Where's this? Oh my god. Let's get the people in here. Holy schmackaroons. Incredible. Incredible game. Bomrisha just texted us. All right. What do we have? We have about 9-10 people in here. Hello to everybody. Santangelo's in here with us. All of you comment if you're in here, say hello, give us your reactions for the match.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
good lord. Oh my god, that was incredible. I mean, just really hard
Clean sheet,
to
Giroud.
put into the words. Put in words. I don't even know. I can't even speak, man. That's just incredible. Like the video if you're in here, comment. We'll try and get up all of your messages in the chat. So many of you, as usual. My goodness, Santangelo. It is first place towards the international break on October the 7th. Inter dropped points earlier today against Bologna. We'll get into what this match was, but wow, there really isn't much to say. There's so much to really get into just in the final 10 minutes alone. And just forget the overall match itself to just dissect. But what are we talking about here? 2 goalkeepers sent off, VAR reviews, an American connection to score the winning goal to head into the break for Milan to take 7 out of 8 wins, correct? For the first 8 matches. Theo Hernandez suspended and Mike Magnan for the match against Juventus after the international break returns. But oh my God, Santangelo, to just quote Mauro Suma, USA, Christian Pulisic winner. And Musa was struggling this entire match.
Yeah.
Comes in with a beautiful cross. That turn by Pulisic, the body control, no handball at all on that one. The turn and the finish with the left foot. Now you know what we've been seeing for years as USA fans. This kid is the greatest U.S. men's national team player of all time. And it's moments like this that prove to you he can do these things. I mean, just there's nothing bad to say. The right wing play the entire day is probably the best thing that we saw because Chukwueze put in a good shift for those 45 minutes. But well, I'll get into all these messages here. You give me your thoughts because wow.
Oh, there's so much to unpack in this game. I mean, like there's the first 85 minutes, which, you know, we all kind of had our say on spaces and tweets and all that stuff. And then the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this game, including injury time, was like a completely different game on its own. And you could see everybody in the comments are like, what is happening? How did this happen? Giroud with a green Mike Magnan jersey on in goal, making a save at the end of the match for a clean sheet. I don't know if he gets credit for that. Opta and the statisticians for Serie A will have to kind
Better
of
than
figure that out.
Tataru already, bro.
I guess like the thing that obviously stinks is that like Magnan and Theo are out for the Juve game, but in the fact of the matter is you deal with that after the fact. Sportiello will be the goalkeeper, and we don't know what they're going to do at left back for that game. Maybe it's Florenzi left back, Calabria right back. Kalulu if he's back in time. In any case, unbelievable. Like, if you're just watching this and you're not even like a fan of the sport, and you always had this kind of feeling about like
really wasn't
soccer 0-0, and you're like, why are you still invested in this? Just watch the last 15, 20 minutes of the game, and you can see why this is pure drama, and this is absolutely insane. A Pulisic winner. Like, let's talk about the winner, right? Because he comes on to start the second half in a double switch, which Pioli brings on Rafael Leao, and he also brings on Pulisic, who have been pretty much starters, or we know Leao's a starter, but Pulisic has been the starting right wing for the entire season. And he makes the decision pretty quickly, right? I think like everyone wanted Chukwueze to get more minutes and maybe Okafor shift into that central role that Luka Jovic was occupying and really wasn't doing anything the entire match. And it's Musa and Pulisic connecting for the goal. I think seemingly out of nowhere. I saw him take the ball down, and I was like, saw him turn, and I was like, there's no way there's no handball here or a foul going to be called. It just felt like something was going to be called there. And in an instant, Milan get a winner, or so it seemed at the moment, right? I'm still like, my heart's still pounding, to be honest. Like, I'm still kind of like processing what just happened here. My goodness. I mean, 3 points, 7 of 8 to start the season. just 1 loss from 10 matches in all competitions.
All competitions, yep.
A win's a win. Credit to Genoa. They made this game very difficult for Milan, and I think maybe we overlooked that in our preview, including myself. I said 3-1. I thought we were going to score goals, and credit to...
I thought it would be a much different lineup, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's what I was going off of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I know people are commenting on like some of the questionable decisions with refereing, like non-yellow cards being...
It was not a handball. It was not a handball. You're clearly an Inter fan, so shush, shoo.
Yeah,
go.
I got two. So on that real quick, just to be fair,
Sure.
I looked at the replay from like the multiple angles they had, and the one I thought was, oh, that's clear cut. It hit it like the right side of his chest and down here. And then there was another angle where it looked like he kind of like settled it with like this bicep. And I was like, oh, they're going to call a handball on this. And it stood. So maybe it was inconclusive. We see that all the time.
Because it is inconclusive.
So maybe they couldn't make a definitive decision to overrule
because that. Exactly. Well, that's the difference that some people just don't understand in how this stuff is ruled. The ruling on the pitch was what? A goal. So that means you need clear and obvious error on the pitch in order to overturn that.
Yeah.
It was not that whatsoever. No. I'm pretty sure you see it go off of his chest.
It looks, it looks like it was like here. Yeah.
It was this was great body control by him. The finish on the left foot. It would have never been a handball. Yeah, there you go. Interista. Petzo, they finished the sentence. All right. So again, I think this was all about Milan's grittiness as a team to pull out 3 points like this on the road when Genoa have been giant slayers this season. Not working. Pioli absolutely questionable during the entire 90 minutes. Luka Jovic simply not being subbed off. Hey, Moritz, shout out to you, by the way. Sabrina, Demo, thank you for joining as a YouTube member. It's greatly appreciated. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And again, if you want to, you don't have to. It just helps Matt and myself support the stream so we could help pay for StreamYard. It's just $1 a month for your membership. You just pay through Google. If you don't want to, no sweat off our backs. You're fine to chill here with us and talk as much as you like. It's just clearly for support, and we greatly appreciate everybody. Sabrina, Luca is a good luck charm, your son, because I mean, like this was just crazy. This reminded me of results from that Scudetto winning year where it's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of nothing during the entire match. And then next thing you know, someone turns the match on his head and you keep playing, you keep fighting through that. Musa, I think, like, kudos to him, really, just to reiterate that, struggling the entire evening. One play can change your entire mood or the entire match. And for him, I think that's a huge mental boost. Just awesome. And
we talk about real quick the fact that Pulisic, back-to-back match winners for Milan.
Yeah, with his left foot. I mean, listen, I wanted Chukwueze to start. I still think I was right about that. I still think he played and showed up like somebody that like didn't deserve the 45 minutes. Yeah. Chukwueze was fine. I thought Chukwueze, besides Yassine Adli and our defenders, we'll get into Tomori in a second because Tomori and Chow are just locked down at this point. Mm-hmm. It's just a sight to behold. But Musa was killing it towards the end. How many think it shouldn't have? It should have. It was incredibly late, and he went in with his knee. So I know what you're trying to do here, Guile, with your reverse psychology thing with this Inter stuff, thinking that we're just gonna assume every single call should have been Milan's way.
I think that was
we're honest here. We're fair here.
No, so. I think that was the correct call. I mean, I think in most cases too, people will say, there wasn't an intent to handle the ball when it comes to like handballs. But the fact of the matter is that's a dangerous play, and the knee makes contact with the player before his head makes contact with the ball.
Correct.
So it's a valid red card. I was just in that moment, to be quite honest with you, I was really concerned about Mignon because he was limping away, and when he landed on his foot, I saw like a little roll or something. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, we may win this game, but at what cost? Like, are we out Mignon for weeks now? And he walked off. So like, he looked fine, but like, I was in that moment very nervous about what was going to happen with him. It was a red. Yeah, it's a red card, guys. Like, just to Martino's
you don't have to worry about the comments. I'll just get them up.
No. I want to interact with it because we're going live here. That's the reason why we're doing it. So Yeah, like we're calling it like it is. We're Milan fans, right? Like you see everything in the back. Like we're obviously this is
I
a
mean, it's
Milan
just
podcast,
evidence he doesn't watch us. That's
but
all. Like,
like
well,
I'm
I'm
being
not
as
gonna
honest as I can
get on you
be.
anymore, Guile. But I think we're some of the more fair fans and supporters that you'll meet. We call a spade, especially myself. Matt is not as blunt
Brash,
as myself, I would
maybe.
say.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more reserved. It takes a lot to get you going.
Yeah.
It doesn't take
Yes.
much for me. But again, almost 99, 100 of you. How many likes do we have on the channel? Again, it's very important to get us likes during these live streams, comments, share them wherever you
Yeah.
can, because that allows us to go more towards the front page and all that stuff. But yeah, really, this was just a match that Milan needed 3 points with, and we're sitting here looking at ourselves pretty good after Inter drew at home to Bologna. Milan clear of everybody else. Really, really, wow. I just need to take a breath for all of this because it was just insane. Text green text. Is this what it is? I don't know why that's coming in like that. Odell Providence. Agreed. It's too dangerous for a challenge not to be a red oak. 4-9 better than Jovic tonight. I want to talk about the Jovic situation because I really found this fascinating in terms of the way Pioli kind of viewed this match. So Pioli comes in, right? And we talked about in halftime spaces. And this is the kind of the angle I was talking about regarding when I was talking to you and Demo about this. I totally understand where you guys are coming from with the minutes thing and the rotation. But here's my problem. The way he handles every single player in terms of minute and easing them into the squad, you don't see what he did today with Jovic, which was this is your first start in the entire season. You see the quick hook with Chukwueze, and in favor, substitute-wise, of a player that could play in that position that has done well, a.k.a. Noah Okafor. You don't see that happen. You see Chukwueze, who played way better than Jovic ever did in that half, get the hook. The sub, and again, I tweeted this, I was okay with that sub. Pulisic coming on, I had no problem with it. I had to change things up. It was a stagnant attack. What I didn't get was keeping Jovic on, who was really non-existent for the most part. He had 9 touches at the half, which was really poor. Midfield stepping up once again. I thought Yassine Adli was really reminded me of a metronome that first half, just dictating the play. You see how fine he is with both feet. I don't truly blame him he had to make that foul because Rafa was the one for that. Because he was the one who didn't pass the ball. He was on his left foot coming in from the right wing, trying to cut in. Didn't make a decision, lost the ball, counterattack for Genoa. Yassine Adli has to make a foul there. Not the greatest job by him, but if we also really look at it from that standpoint, Rafa put him in a really difficult position.
Yeah.
Your kind of thoughts of these substitutes, starting with Jovic and then going into Adli's performance.
It's weird, right? Because I think you look at the way the kind of the match went out and how it played out, and obviously we didn't anticipate needing to make a switch in goal and playing down a man. There was moments in this match too where it kind of felt like Chow was being dragged up the pitch because he was man marking Gudmundsson. And I thought that he would be a candidate to get a yellow card. And again, if you guys looked at the roster that we have on the bench, I think the only central defender that we had suited up was Pellegrino, if I'm correct. I think I saw Kair too. So we don't have a lot of options in central defense right now with Kalulu out. So it's not like we could have done anything there. I think we just had to be very careful and cautious with Tomori and Malik Chow and not get into clumsy situations. And it looked as though that we were going to maybe get a cheap booking on Malik Chow because he was playing a little bit higher up than maybe you would expect from like a Tomori, who is that type of quicker player with the more recovery speed, and that's kind of how they jive. But defensively, we were good. Another clean sheet, right? I think Matteo Benetti on Paramount, and he tweeted out and said it best. Like, we've conceded 5 goals in matches Tomori didn't play this year. In the rest of the game, it's nine
Come
matches.
outside, Carlos. Come outside.
So there's something to be said about this tandem kind of forging a really good partnership. And defensively, we were fine. I thought the midfield, we held it down. Adli, what I love from Adli so far is the sort of progression I see from week to week with him, because I think we still have to kind of monitor how he grows into this team. He only just really became a starter a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, shall I say.
Pretty
and the
much.
way he sort of inserts himself into the game and he's like looking for the ball, right? Those are the important things you want to see from players that are getting really good opportunities. Or are they shying away from the moment? Are they scared of the moment? Are they scared of the ball? We saw that a lot with like CDK last year and a lot of the other players we've signed over recent years. Is do they look for the ball? Or are they trying to like shy away from making a mistake? And Ali really makes sure that he presents himself as an option to look for the ball. And those are the things I absolutely love. And I think he provides such a different impact on this team than what Krunic does. Not saying I don't like what Krunic brings, but they're different players despite maybe playing the same role on the field. So I thought the midfield was good. Reinders covers so much ground too. Like this guy's an absolute workhorse. The way he runs, like he's always moving off the ball as well, trying to get the ball and move and just keep things going.
I agree with this.
I agree with this too. Yeah, like we but in a strange way, the fact that we're able to navigate the season and still get results when you don't have Krunic, you don't have Benacer, you don't have Loftus-Cheek, you have injuries in certain areas. You can't start maybe Leao and Giroud every week. Obviously we probably could have played Leao this game, but and you're still getting wins. It's a luxury to have when you're able to still somewhat maintain form and get results despite not having your best on a given day, not having your full team on a given match, and playing against a team that has given some of Serie A's better sides fits the entire season. So I
have a Giroud quote here.
Not the typical, while you're pulling it up, not the typical 3 points for Milan. This is going to be one of those out of context posts in 5-10 years when you see like Giroud with a Magnon goalkeeper shirt and you're like, how did that happen? How did that come about? And then you're also going to see in years like, 1-0 Milan, like, it's just a win away to Genoa. What happened here? But yeah, we got that.
Yeah, let me just get into this quote real quick. So this is Giroud post-match. I've never experienced something like this in my career. I made a great save at the end of the match, and I'm proud of our team. We fought like lions. The final save, it was almost like a goal. Calabria massacred my arm, but it's okay. I'm going to frame this jersey. I mean, how could you not? Anybody else's heart dropped the second I hit the crossbar too. I just sometimes things bounce your way. After years, guys, this is after a decade of this nonsense where it ends in a draw for Milan. Look how this changed. 140 of you in here. Welcome. That Milan podcast, Martino Puccio, Matt Santangelo. If you guys don't know us, we are Italian-American Milan fans. So this is just a very exciting season for us. We've been podcasting and doing videos since 2017 with the Young Hung Lee Summer, obviously been Milanisti our entire lives. And again, like, subscribe, comment if you have not already. Join us, stay for a while. But yeah.
What a way to go in international break
too, right? Suspended. We'll talk about some of these outcomes here. This is big. Thank you, George. Oh, George is great. George always stops in.
Appreciate you, George. Thank you.
You're still welcome here, by the way. Moritz said one thing. Oh, he just said thank you. So anyways, this Sport Yellow I could live with. Theo is really the big one. I think he struggled a bit. There's a lot of he's not allowed to run and be more of a spearheaded attacker for multiple reasons. I think playing as often, he needs to conserve his energy. And two, there's so much more help now. He doesn't have to do those 80, 90-yard runs that we're kind of accustomed to seeing. Really frustrating start for him this year. They've been dissent yellow cards. This yellow card itself today really wasn't a necessary one for him. Your thoughts on these two suspensions? Juve, I think this one will be at San Siro. Correct me if I'm wrong, but really difficult if we're going to kind of go down this path. I'm also going to put up a poll, guys, for man of the match. You guys just give me a couple names that you want. But yeah, go ahead, Matt. Your thoughts.
A difficult moment for Theo. I've seen a lot of people, some theories, some kind of opinions, insight on it, and saying, the kind of the impact that maybe Maldini had on him. And I don't buy too much into that, to be quite honest with you. I know they had such a great relationship, and obviously he was largely for why Milan were able to get Theo to Milan. So there, obviously we know the relationship is there. Maybe there was some, residual effect coming into the season, but at the end of the day, like, he's a professional. This is a professional football club, and you have a job to do. So not the best moment for Theo, but I do agree in the sense that I think, you have more options in this team, more attacking options. So you're not really having to go like full guns blazing on that left side and have like layout plunge forward, Theo plunge forward, and really just give everything on that left side and overcommit. I think you can put Theo in positions where he can be a little bit more calculated with the runs he goes on. He can take more risks going forward if the game calls for that, if we're chasing. But I'm not looking too much into it. I think this yellow card was needless. We didn't need to see him commit that. It's not like it was a tactical foul where, hey, I'm going to give myself up for the yellow because there's a clear-cut goal-scoring chance for Genoa. It wasn't like that. But you kind of take the good with the bad when it comes with a personality like Theo's, right? Like, we love the fiery personality and the energy he brings. In the derby, that moment he had with Denzel Dumfries, like, we when we win, we say that's classic Theo. Like, sometimes you need that bite, you need that grinta to show. And then in matches like this, it's like, you don't need to do that. Like, keep your composure and keep it pushing, So that's definitely a difficult thing for Milan to overcome in this Juve game, right? I think that's something we're gonna have to digest and then rediscuss when we do our match preview for that game in a couple of weeks after the international break. But ultimately, maybe we see 3 at the back and we see something similar like Musa and Florenzi as like wide options. Who knows, Calabria. So I think like I don't think we're going to see Bartazaghi start in that game. I'd be absolutely stunned. I think it's going to be Calabria, Florenzi probably as the options if we go 4 at the back. Or if we do a 3-4-3 or something like that, maybe we see some different options there. But we'll have to deal with it in that moment. But yeah, I think more so the Magnon thing, that was kind of him just giving himself up because they needed the win. Like, it was in a moment where you had to kind of just go all out for it. We'll wait and see. I think Juventus, they're not the same Juventus of years past. So I think, yes, this is a good team. They got a victory today at the time of recording this when you guys do take a look at it for those who are not watching live. So they did get a victory, but I think ultimately we still betting man, and you're thinking, no, Magnon, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, really influential in the way Milan like to play out the back, and no Theo Hernandez, potentially a right back playing at left back or a teenager at left back. Maybe you take some action on that, but yeah, we'll wait and address it at that point when the time comes. Hopefully we're able to overcome it, and we've been playing Juventus pretty tight, so I'm not too concerned, but we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of people upset about that handball call. That's still not a handball. It's just our good Napoli friend. I don't want people going towards his Twitter, but our good friend do so.
Oh yeah, I know this. Yeah.
Having a rough time out there. Yeah, shit. I can't get volume through Twitter, so I apologize. But man, but there was another picture of Magnon. Give me a second. I just saw it. It was pretty funny actually. I'm gonna pull it up. This is on his own Instagram already, guys. So this is on Olivier Giroud's Instagram, and he's posing with Theo after that with the Magnon kit. So I mean, it's just an incredible sight to see. And also, the handball situation that looked like that hit his armpit like right here. I think that would have been incredibly harsh to give after that. But yeah, by the way, I just want to pat myself on the shoulder for this one thing that I did. I don't know if you saw it, but I basically called the 2 subs that would happen when they were going to go down. Initial tweet is 65th minute. He will sub on Giroud and Calabria, and right there, Calabria and Giroud. 66, 67th. There was a corner kick at that time. It was the 65th minute, so I'm taking it. I don't care. Those were the 2 exact players right at that time, so I do not give a shit. That's all me. But yeah, let's get to some of these comments here.
Yeah.
Stats won't show. Yeah, listen, I think I still attest that was his roughest outing, but that happens. But this though, something we talk about time and time again on this podcast, on this channel, every single time we kind of get into everything, is that this schedule to start the year with the road fixtures against sides like Genoa, Bologna, even Roma at the Olimpico, but also facing the top 4 competitive sides like a Lazio, Roma, Inter obviously ended up being a loss for Milan, but that's the only loss on the schedule. Just really stout defensively, and we're talking about makeshift midfields here as well. No Krunic, basically been out for a month. They haven't been able to use Pierre Kalulu. We haven't had Ruben Loftus-Cheek for a few matches already. We also have lost Benacer because he's going to be out till February. Milan were thin today at the midfield position. Really, it was just Tommaso Pobega off the bench today as a possible replacement. But again, really, you see that switch up to the double pivot, though, with that towards the end when Calabria came on. I mean, just the ability to go deep like this on the road, pull out a win. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's such a good start to the year. 20.4. I'll have to go and pick up what our schedule or what our record was after 8 matches last year. But you can go ahead. Your thoughts on just the results that Milan have been getting so far?
It's never easy. It's a long season. A lot has to go right in sports to win anything, and health included, right? So we've always had this discussion, right? Of course, Milan get injuries, and this guy goes down just when they need him.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get worried, and can the Milan have enough? And this season was a little bit different. We had the sacrifice of Tonali to stretch out the squad to add more depth, and in moments where we're down many midfielders, when we don't have the luxury of having the depth of some of these European juggernauts that we all know, and we know what they have in their team. I'm not going to name the actual clubs, but the fact that we're still able to claw and get results. And, this is just I think the nature of the sport, right? I mean, Inter thrashed Milan 5-1, and Milan, they responded. Now, some of these matches have been unconventional the way we've won them. So we're not scoring goals and bludgeoning teams 5-4, 5-1. We're playing defensive. We're keeping clean sheets. And it almost feels like a little bit reminiscent of what we did in that year where we won the Scudetto, right? Where we defended really well down the stretch. Kalulu Tomori was crucial in keeping clean sheets. And when you're able to keep the other team off the score sheet, all it takes is a little moment, right? That wasn't even a great cross by Musa, mind you. It was a low cross to Pulisic, who's not a header. He's not a target man that you pick out in the box to make a header. The ball just fell to his feet. He made a turn and he scored. So when you keep the other team off the score sheet, you put yourself in positions. Hey, all we need is one. All we need is one chance. You put Leao on. He was threatening. He was running down that flank. All you need is one lucky bounce comes into a player's foot, and that player today was Pulisic, and you get a victory. That's sometimes the way the sport goes. Inter, they drop points today. Bologna is a good team. This is going to be how the season's going to play out. Milan are going to have their moments too where they drop points. They're not always going to be on the better side of matches like they were today. They might be on the receiving side and the losing side and drawing side of some of these matches coming up. But right now, you take what you can get. You take what you can get. You go into the international break, and it's next matchup mentality. They got Juventus. You're going to have Sportiello in there. We don't know what they're going to do in the midfield. Probably the same we've seen in this match. They're going to have to make some adjustments. Pioli is going to have to make some decisions when it comes to the attack. Is it Pulisic? Probably going to be Pulisic, Giroud, and Leao. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to win ugly. And I think that's part of a winning mentality. That's part of winning anything. There's going to be matches where it's like, man, that's a sloppy win. They got the win. You deal with what happens after the fact. That's all you can really do. Now, I will say this, that they can't lean on this to be a theme. This can't be a theme of the next 5, 6, 7, 10 games, because there are things that Milan need to improve upon. They need to be a team that does take more chances. They've had instances in the first half with Chukwueze, Okafor, who was a little disappointing in that left wing role. He looks more comfortable centrally, player that could float around, tuck in, drift out wide, link up with Leao, and kind of be more of like a little more freedom type center forward versus playing like a left wing role, which is what he did today. But look, top of the table, heading into the international break, you take it. You absolutely take it any way you can get it.
Man, are they crying on Twitter? Man, are they crying? They can't stop. They're upset. Remember the Lazio match? Yes, correct. Yeah, with Tonali. Everybody has their excuses for this stuff, but nobody wants to talk about that second goal that should have been Milan's just because there was the red. I don't care about that. That's still clearly denying them a goal scoring chance. But if you want to look at it through one lens, that's how fans do things. I just think it's like so pathetic to look at the game like that. Because if you want to be fair the entire time. Because other than that, you seem like a whiny person. Because it's ridiculous. Are we really going to sit there and say that? Like how? Like what is the reasoning for saying that Milan shouldn't have been allowed to just play advantage on that? You could give the red card after. The red card could be given after all the time. That's been a thing. Why are we stopping the advantage right there? That's a horrible call. I'm sorry. I don't understand where these excuses are coming from some people about that. They don't want to be fair with this. It's a joke. It's honestly tiring to just see stuff like that. It's just disingenuous conversation time and time again. Clearly denying that goal scoring opportunity. It's stupid. I can't stand that stuff. And then people try and flip it on you like you're a biased fan. Hey, thanks, Nick. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel too. Yeah, the content's great at Sempre Milan. Go and subscribe to those guys too. Kush is great. I think his channel's Football Kush, Old Hard Rossonero, Milan Weekly Podcast, along with Coast to Coast, who is on the Milan Weekly channel as well. Are we missing another one? Milan Lab are also good friends of mine as well. So check out Rock Award and that. I think they're live right now. Can't think of another channel that if I'm forgetting, just forgive me, guys. There's Yellow came minutes after. Exactly, John. You could easily play advantage. Just people are lying to themselves about this stuff. We'll be here for like another 10 minutes or so. Serie A sit down with Frank and Richard. Yeah, I was thinking more Milan, Anthony, but yeah, they're good. Yeah. They're a good Serie A podcast as well. Richard and Frank are good dudes. They do everything every week. That's probably one of the best Serie A podcasts you could definitely find, especially in English. They're free. Serie A sit down is their YouTube. Go ahead.
I know you said you put up a poll. Do we have any updates on that?
Yeah. How are we looking? So the poll was up 12 minutes ago. Right now, 15% for Tomori, 48% for Pulisic, 32% for Giroud, 5% for Yassine Adli. Yeah. Ready for the last minute goal against Newcastle and Dortmund. This will do just fine. Oh, Steph is on Sempre Milan. Steph Sartori. It was the longest 7 minutes I ever watched. Yeah, telling me. What do you think about Inter's form? They've been struggling recently. Yeah, listen. I mean, if we want to talk on the subject of Inter are going to be in this to the final match day, in my opinion. This is going to be a race for the ages. I just really find it interesting how Milan have battled against these bottom sides that they've picked up those points already. Sassuolo and Bologna, the two sides that Inter have dropped points to. Obviously not the best for them. Them getting that head-to-head win against us was just huge for them. It's going to end up being huge towards the end of the season. Juve is we won't talk about that iron cut. No. We're not going to get into that podcast. That podcast doesn't deserve anything. We are based out of the Northeast in the U.S. St. Angelo is New Jersey. I'm New York. Mm-hmm. I've never lived in New Jersey in my life, even though some people do think I am from there. I'm not. Derby defeat still hurts, yeah, but I get over it. Honestly, that's just one of those things. Yeah, so with that Inter start, they're going to be really tough. I think Napoli are going to be really tough most of the season, and I think I would also say the same thing for Juve once a week. I mean, kudos to them. They win a derby without Chiesa and Vlahovic. They keep a clean sheet. You can't really rip them for what they're doing there. They get the results. Allegri and their football might not be pretty, but the results are. So you have to give them credit where it's due. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a picture here. I can get this up from Antonio Vitiello real quick. Magnan could be out for 2 games, though, by the way. Oh, this isn't Olivier and Mike Giroud. No, it's just the same picture that Vitiello retweeted. But, man, what a start to the season for Milan. I don't think there's much else to discuss. I think Shuki needs number 10 behind him and maximize his output. Not sure we're on unlock from Jovic yet. Giroud apparently is going to get renewed another year. Listen, if he takes a little bit less money and he's just a third option, that's fine. There's still those rumors were still backed up by saying they're going to go in for another striker. Jovic was really just a trial run this year. If you can get anything from him on that non-expensive loan deal, then it's a plus. I think that's just the way they look at it. But yeah, your thoughts on that extension potentially?
I don't hate it. I just think you have to start kind of phasing Giroud out from being a starting striker in 70% of games. You can keep him on. He can be that sort of Ibrahimovic type player where you can sprinkle him into matches and you know what you're going to get from him. And he's a good player for the changing room. He's a good player for the training ground. He's a good player for a lot of these younger guys. So I don't have an issue with that, provided, again, we do actually address this position head on in the summer and we get a proper striker, someone who can make the
difference.
Or
even opportunistic in January, you think? I think it's not completely possible.
Probably not. I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Jonathan David's contract is winding on down. So all of this is Fabio in here, Milan Lab in here, the guys we were just talking about. Fabio, how you doing, bro? Giroud's third. Hot take incoming. We are going to see Zlatan as a coach with Milan within. I don't think so. There's reported rumors from Nicola Schira that they're close to extending him. Sorry, not extending him, rehiring him for another position. There's 185 of you in here, by the way. Thank you so much for joining. Let me just get the quote tweet out real quick. Just want to get this going. Yeah. Again, I think Zlatan would come back. And if he does, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think it would necessarily hurt as maybe some sort of like bench coach type thing, like one of those types of roles. We don't have success with former players coming back and coaching and doing well with us. So I don't know what type of coaching role you're like hinting at. If it's just to kind of play one of those more like ambassador, like maybe he's just, on the training ground, helping some of the newer players, that type of role, then I don't think it's bad. But if we're talking like coach, like coaching the Primavera,
it doesn't sound like that.
First team, then
I think it's just a director role. Kind of sounds like a little bit like a liaison type of thing. Yeah, Fabio, thank you. Keep on hitting that like button. We should be able to get to 100, no problem. If there's 188 of you in here, we should be able to get to 100. I think Zlatan would be in that role. They obviously hired someone as a youth team director. Abate is obviously the youth team coach. They have Franco Baresi in another role as well. He's not going to be a director. But Santangelo has to head on out. I'll let you just say goodbye, Matt, because I'll stay on here for a few more minutes. But any final words for this day?
No, just thank you everyone for tuning in. Obviously, shout out to Martino for kind of putting this all together and planning everything. I just come on and I talk with you guys. So thank you guys for liking and subscribing and commenting and just kind of always being there to support. Results like this are awesome to see. Like, they're nerve-wracking. There's so much drama, but to share with you guys on live and just interact with you guys on a regular basis. I've always said the community is such an important part of content creation and why we do what we do. So thank you guys for tuning in, and again, continue to support. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple, Spotify. Comment, like, subscribe, everything. Martina will plug it. Follow me on Twitter at Matt_Santangelo. Hopefully some articles coming soon. So thank you for the support. And we'll see you, I guess, for the preview for Juventus.
Maybe something midweek international break. We'll try and figure that out. But yeah, Santangelo, good to see you. Take care. Talk to you soon. So there goes Matty Santangelo. I'll just be here for a couple more minutes. There's so many of you in here. Let me just hope the other stuff. Any other few things? Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Sorry, we're just Milanisti sometimes. You're more than welcome. Yeah, I agree. Maldini did well. PLS, win at life. Yeah, Santangelo is a great guy. Matt's a great guy, guys. Make sure you follow those accounts there. I don't think we can sell Giroud for a lot of money because of his age, obviously. I mean, they're not going to sell Giroud. He has an expiring contract, so if they renew him, it'll just be for 1 year. If Giroud leaves Milan, he's leaving. Like, you know, like just for that. Yeah, but again, we really appreciate all your support for everybody. Incredibly stressful match. Just want to shout out everybody. Moritz, Sabrina, Demo, and David have all gotten the memberships. That's just $1 a month. It just helps support myself and Matt. And again, we really appreciate everybody. It's been a hell of a ride so far. I hope everybody enjoys the content. We have the podcast out on Apple and Spotify. If you have not already subscribed on there, give us 5 stars on the rating. Again, live reaction kind of videos like this, YouTube Shorts, they're obviously just going to stay up on YouTube. But the podcast that we try and record midweek, the video footage you also get of it will be on there as well. Matt's tweets for please win. Always, man. Always. Is this Rock Award or we got our other amends for Milan Lab? Guys, so go subscribe to them if you haven't already. Good people. I wouldn't send you to bad YouTube pages or bad Milanisti. They're very good. I know, no, Morris, I don't want to ask for more money. I greatly appreciate that though, but like, just like $1 a month is okay for now. Eventually if we get bigger, I mean, I would be silly to say no, right? But thank you. I really do appreciate it. $1 is more than enough. But yeah, listen, it's a crazy victory. They ride into the international break. You hopefully get back Rade Krunic just for another midfield option. To keep those rotations in check. Hopefully, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is going to be okay, and all of that. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that is Milan first place after the break. Everybody is crying. They're upset, but they can't just simply say that was a fair goal. But that's the way they want to do things. Again, how many likes did we get to? We got to 85. Oh, so close to the 100. Muja's brain is running. Hey, Joseph, what happened to Muja? Why is Muja coming here? That's you gotta be deep into Milan Twitter if you're saying that. Because that's really funny. That is really funny. Again, what do we have here? Reinders, Benacer. Yeah, I mean, if we can get Benacer back, I'm really kind of terrified of what's going to happen in terms of the rest of the group stage. But I'm trying to stay positive. But that's just the way it is as a fan. Again, just want to reiterate before I head on out, guys. Christian Pulisic game winner. Incredible job by Milan to get the 3 points out of Genoa. You could follow me here on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Martino Puccio, Martino_Puccio on Instagram is where you can follow me on there. Sempre Milan as well. Go subscribe to them. My YouTube shorts are on there, specifically Milan oriented. Sometimes I have a bunch of different stuff that I put up on this channel. It's a little bit of both of Milan and random things. But again, greatly appreciate all the support on here. Follow Fabio on Coast to Coast. Menez. If anyone gets man in the match other than Giroud, I think everybody went with Tomori, man. I'm going to end the poll right now. Or Pulisic, sorry. Pulisic got the 50% almost. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. American Bias says Puli man of the match. It's okay, Anthony. Giroud is winning man of the match on the Milan app. Good for him. I understand why people are doing it. Like, I totally understand it. Do you think Magnan and Theo's apps? Yeah, absolutely. I think more so Theo. I think we could survive with Sport Yellow against them. But, yeah, Samori's streak has been broken. Yeah, I know. He was getting man of the match all the time. I thought he was very much worthy for this one. Any final questions before we head on out here? We're at the 45-minute mark. You guys have been fantastic once again. Milan had 17 points on match day 8 last season. This day, they are 21 points and top of the table. So really great to see. So yeah, any other final things? I'm not worried about Sportiello. What winter signing should Milan make? I wish it would be Taremi. Just any striker. Any striker is cool with me, guys. I'm going to head on out. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the matches tomorrow. International break. We'll update you guys on social media accounts on when the next episode of That Milan podcast will drop. We're trying to get another guest in very soon. Again, Milan, top of the league at the end of this international break. We'll talk next time, guys. Take care.